Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I have Point Borough Junior, Gen Fara. Jen, thank you for joining me.
Hi. You're welcome, of course.
Um, First, I like to ask this question first. Last year, when COVID hit, it's a year now. How did you find that adjustment going from, in the classroom to fully virtual learning?
It was definitely hard. It was much different. You definitely had to get used to how to organize your work, your time, because you're on a computer, so you could be distracted by your phone, like a bunch of other things going on at home. So I think it was really just what I had to get used to is not being distracted by what's going on in my house or like other things, and just like really focusing. So
How did Point Borough do it? Did you have to be like on Zoom meeting or Google Class at certain times, or okay? Because I know that's one thing, I say this almost every interview, but every school is different, and that just fascinated me. Like they didn't come down with some unified thing from the state, like
Mhm.
you got to do this. So
Yeah.
I like to ask that question. Now you're a multi-sport. Um, did I print the wrong? No, I printed the right thing. For some reason, I have field hockey written instead of soccer. um, you multi-sport, play soccer for Point Borough, you play basketball, play AAU basketball. How old were you now? I talked to your mother a little bit,
Mhm.
on Twitter Messenger, and you seem to be a jack of all trades when you were younger, just played like anything
Oh,
you
yeah.
could. So how old were you when, we'll talk soccer and basketball first. How old were you when you started those two sports?
I actually started like I always tell this to my parents. I wish I started younger because like now looking at like young girls, like they're starting like when they're like born.
Yeah.
But I started pretty late, in my opinion. I started like fifth grade, so like right before middle school, like right before going into middle school, fourth, fifth grade is when I started like the sports I'm like serious at now.
Okay. What other sports did you do?
Um,
Besides.
Well, I played football. That was like my main thing for a while was football. And then after I stopped football, I got into the soccer and basketball. But yeah, football was my main thing.
What position did you play in football?
I was quarterback.
Okay, I
Yeah.
can see that. You could have been leading Point Borough
Yeah, right?
instead. Do they have a good football team? I don't pay attention to football anymore.
They used like they're not like terrible. I mean, they
Mm,
used to be much better. But like
okay.
everything with COVID, the past few years, I'm not sure if they were over 500 or anything.
Mm.
I'm not sure.
Public schools, it goes in waves. Like
Yeah,
you
no, I
you're
agree.
like dominant for like a few years, and then
Yeah,
you're low, and then you're
that's
dominant
how it
again.
was
Yeah.
for Borough. But I feel like next year they're going to be a lot better.
Okay. So football is your main sport.
Yeah,
um, do you have any siblings?
yeah. I have an older brother.
Oh, did he do any sports when he was older?
Yeah, he was at Monmouth for football.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Are, are you two very competitive with each other?
Yeah. And he's the one who really like got me the way I am in sports now.
Okay.
He was like definitely one of the main reasons I'm so aggressive and everything. So
Uh, that's one thing, we talked, before we started, you playing defense for Point Borough,
yeah,
it's so aggressive, and I love that. And you're not afraid to use your body,
yeah,
yeah, which, when you're playing defense, that's what you need to do.
yeah.
What has your family meant, in your development, basketball, it seems to be your, primary sport right now. How's your family helped you in your development?
I mean, the best thing about my mom and dad is whenever I want to do training things, they'll make it somehow like happen. They'll do whatever they can to make it happen. Even if like money's an issue, they'll try their best to like come up with it just so I can like do a training thing. And they're always trying to like get me on like the best teams, doing the best programs. So
Yeah, and these days it's not like when I was a kid, you pretty much just trained with whoever the local guy is.
yeah.
These days, kids, you're going all over Monmouth and Ocean County to,
Mhm.
even further,
Yeah.
to train. Um, when you were younger, who was like a role model you looked up to? It could be family, it could be celebrity.
Um, Definitely my brother. I would think, because like I always saw him doing so good and getting so much like recognition for his sport, where like I wanted to like fill shoes. So
We'll talk soccer first. So you said you started soccer like fifth grade.
yeah, around there.
Do you remember who your first coach was?
For like a travel team or
Yeah.
rec. Um,
Uh,
we called him Rolo. That's like his last name, but he's actually in Portugal right now coaching. I don't know what team, but he was legit. He was
uh,
good, very good, and we were
uh,
a good team too. So,
how did he help your game?
he was the one that really like got me into soccer and like really like he was
Mhm.
kind of the foundation of me learning the actual game. Um, I was not familiar with it at all. I was only familiar with playing with my friends down the street, and um, he really like taught me the techniques and like what positions and what you got to do. So he's the one who made me my position first. So
Um, you played forward first,
yeah,
right?
I played forward and then I switched to midfield and then I was kind of like an all over player. So yeah,
Um, what was that like a Point Borough travel team?
yeah,
Point Pleasant travel team.
that's
Okay.
the point, Brian.
Did you play for any other teams?
Um, No, no,
Okay.
that was like the only thing. And then that got shut down, and I never played on another travel soccer team.
Okay. So basketball, you're currently on Team Exodus.
Yeah.
Who's your coach?
Coach Britt, her name's Brittany Webb.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How has she helped your game so far? I know you only been with Exodus for a little while now, but how has she helped your game?
She just became my coach like this tournament, so
Okay.
but you can just tell right off the bat that like she wants the best for everyone, and she's very down to earth. Like she'll tell you if you need to work on something, like I don't know. She's very down to earth, and it's so obvious when it comes to like she wants everyone to do the best, get everyone a scholarship. She puts us first, 100%.
That's great. Now, last year you played, whatever AAU season it was last year you played for the Stars, right, with
Yeah,
Conroy. How did
yeah,
he help your game? Because I've actually interviewed a couple of
yeah.
his.
Um, he was actually I was on his team last year, and he was my first AAU team coach. So he really helped my game. He introduced me to like the AAU world, and like how competitive it is, and
How crazy it is.
yeah, it's such different. It's so different, like compared to what I did before AAU, which was it was middle school when I first started AAU. So I was just used to middle school games, and
Mhm.
rec leagues. And then when I went to the AAU world, he was very good. He helped me through everything, because he could tell I was uncomfortable. I didn't really know much, and he was very good. So,
And yeah, I hear great things,
yeah, very
about him. Um, Now switching over to high school. What goals did you set for yourself? Your incoming freshman that you wanted to achieve in 4 years at Point Borough.
Well, I've always wanted to get like MVP, like my freshman year and everything, but really just to make like my team, make my team, I don't know, the best like we can all be, and just I always wanted a ring. We were so close to like all my years of high school. We made it to semis basically. We were always so close, and that's my main goal still, even for next year, is to get a ring. But
Um, we'll talk your freshman year briefly. We'll go soccer first since that's fall. Any upperclassmen that coming in as a freshman could be a little scary sometimes.
yeah,
Any upperclassmen on the soccer team that helped you or pointed you in the right direction if you had questions.
well, being like the only freshman on varsity was like so scary. And honestly, all the seniors were really good with me. Like they kind of got me in the loop right away. And they were all very good leaders. And I was so close. I actually formed really good friendships with all of them. So
How about for basketball?
same thing. I mean, like a few of the soccer girls were playing basketball too my
Mhm.
freshman year. So like yeah, same thing.
Okay.
I knew them from soccer, so they just gave me the same I don't know, leadership, all that.
Now, were you on the varsity for basketball your freshman year?
Well, I was,
Yeah.
but I also in the beginning of the season I played a little JV. Then I got
Yeah.
moved up to varsity.
Okay. Yeah. Um, moving, your sophomore year. What accomplishments did you have for soccer
Um, my sophomore. When was that? I can't even.
2 years ago?
I can't even think. What was? Oh, I barely even played my sophomore year because I broke my toe.
Ooh.
Right, I broke my toe. The scrimmage, or right before the first scrimmage. Yeah, so I came back for states, and he surprisingly the first dad, for the first game round of states, he actually started me up top, and I was like, my first game back, I was like, what, like, but he just wanted me to go. He knows I go crazy, so he just wanted to like get that energy, I guess. So.
That'd be painful. Broken toe, I think, is painful.
Oh my gosh, I had like 2 broken toes too. I even want.
Is there any something like that? I guess it's just you tape it up and you gotta wait for it to heal, right? There's no like
Yeah, and
physical therapy or anything you could do.
mine was really bad too, where like I had to get like the permission to play. Like some people just tape it up where like then you play, but we had to wait for the clear. So
Now that year, the team had a decent run in states, right? Didn't you make the semis?
yeah, we made the semis again. Yeah. We always make the semis.
Yeah, that's who did you play? I had it up. I forgot who it was. Do you know who you played that year?
My sophomore year. Oh, Wall.
Well, there, yeah, it's always
Yeah,
a
they're
tough.
always good.
Yeah, yeah.
We beat them my freshman year, and that was crazy. We were predicted to get destroyed by them, but we ended up beating them 4-0, which was amazing.
Yeah, they start the kids young over there on Wall for soccer.
Definitely.
Yeah. How about basketball? What accomplishments? I got to see you play a couple times your sophomore year.
Um, Sophomore year. I don't know if I got any awards or anything, but I know freshman year I got rookie of the year. But for sophomore year I didn't really get that many. Yeah. I mean, I did pretty good sophomore year though. I had to sit out a few games because my thumb though, which was obviously annoying. I was on like a run for double doubles like each game, and then I got injured, and it kind of went downhill from there. So.
Now, what did you learn playing with a player like Kate?
Oh, so much. She since middle school when she used to play, then she transferred to Squan. Then when she came back, it was so great. And I remember seeing her in the hallways before basketball season. I'm like, "Are you gonna play? Are you gonna play?" And she's like, "I don't know, I don't know." And then I finally talked her into playing. I got Coach Drew on her back, and she did. And really, I couldn't ask for a better leader. She knew the game so well, but also didn't make anybody else feel like stupid, I guess, for like not knowing it as well as her. So she really just wanted the best for everyone, and was such a good team player.
That's what kind of stood out the first time I saw you girls play was against Jackson Liberty at Liberty, and she could be a dominant player,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she got everyone involved on your team. It wasn't like because that was a close game,
Yeah.
and she gets everyone involved, doesn't like take it over herself, and that and her passing was stood out. I always say that too. I don't care how many points you score, but her passing or everything so. Moving to this past year, did you think you were gonna have a soccer season?
Oh no. I remember.
So you definitely didn't think you were gonna have a basketball season then.
Oh yeah, no. I just thought we were gonna have no sports. It's terrible. It was terrible.
So were you happy when you were finally able to get going on the soccer field?
Oh, for sure. I remember like during the summer practices and stuff, we were like training so hard, and then like after each one, we're like, what are we training for if you don't even have a season? So we're happy that we trained so hard for a season.
Now your team had a 2-week shutdown, right, in soccer?
Yeah.
Now that was towards the middle of the season too, right?
Yeah.
So how did you handle that? I mean, because shutting down right before the season start really isn't that big of a. I mean, it's a big deal, but I mean, at least you're not into game mode yet. But
Yeah,
you're halfway through the season, and all of a sudden you got to shut down, and then
yeah.
you come back. You only had a few games left until the sectional, whatever they had. So how did your team and yourself handle that?
I mean, we all would just like text each other and like tell each other we'll get through it, like come back like stronger. We held everybody accountable for like doing things on their own, and it definitely affected us like for our mental state of like because we were on a roll, and then we just get shut down and we're like it's just out of nowhere too.
Yeah, because your team was playing pretty good right before the shutdown.
Yeah.
Do you think going through that though helped you during basketball season, knowing what to expect
Yeah,
if
definitely.
that? So did it happen during basketball too?
It did. It
Yeah.
did. But it was before the season. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, yeah, and I think it was a non-athlete, right, from Point Pleasant. I think they were just,
I,
if I
I
remember.
I'm not sure. I think it might have been someone on our team.
Oh,
I kind of
well, because
forget.
they shut down all the sports in your school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was someone in the middle school too. It was
Huh. Um, Going back to soccer real quick, what is something you wanted to improve on from the previous season?
definitely my shooting, but obviously I didn't really need my shooting once I got to the season because I got moved to defense. But it was my shooting. But once I realized I was going to be defender, I guess it was just really IQ I wanted to improve on.
I thought I only saw your team once against, I think it was a Liberty game.
Oh, the game.
At no, I think you girls won that game.
Was it at Borough?
It, yeah, it was at the
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
that one was good. That one was good.
Yeah, but your defensive line was your whole defense. I was like, wow, because
Yeah,
Liberty has a couple really good forwards and stuff, and
yeah,
you did a good job with them. And it was the first time me ever watching Shay play.
yeah.
And we all know how good a soccer player she
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Let me ask, what is something you learned from Shay?
Kind of like the same thing with Kate.
Mhm.
Is by her, she obviously knew she um was the best on team and she knew the most. So she kind of would help everybody else learn, how to because she could play all over too. So she knew a lot about each position. So you had a question about any position, whether it's forward, defense, she can answer it. So it's really, yeah,
Yeah, she was all over that game. Like,
yeah, yeah.
um, going to basketball. What was something you wanted to improve on the basketball side?
Oh, there's a lot. I always think I can improve in everything, but specifically, I would say my shooting and my left hand.
I've myself, I've made these comments to coaches and stuff. I saw a huge improvement from last season to this season in all aspects of your game.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It tells how hard you worked, in the
Yeah.
off season and during the summer. Um, what's your relationship with your classmates on the team? Molly and Erica, because Molly to me is one of those players that just does all the little things, and
Oh,
Erica to me is a very underrated guard.
yeah. No, I agree. Well, Molly is actually my best friend
Okay.
outside of sports. We hang out like almost every day. So it's always nice having like such a close friend on my team. But I've been playing basketball with these girls since I first started playing. So we're all so close. And I have such good friendships with all of them.
And being in like a smaller town too, that helps where.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Moving on to next season, what are some goals you have to finish out your soccer career at Point Borough?
Oh, that's so sad to think about.
Sorry.
Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, well, definitely what I was saying before is getting a ring, and I really think we would be capable of that. Like we had such good freshmen this year. Apparently, there's supposed to be some good incoming freshmen too, and me being a senior, I'm gonna try and get everybody to start training like earlier, so we can just all four. Because I think the most like I don't know like underrated like aspect of like each game is like the connection you have with your team. Like you got to have a good connection with like your teammates and stuff in order to be good, in my opinion. But But yeah, so I would just say my goals is just to get a ring and be really close to my teammates and kind of just have a great season, you know.
You
Just
kind of
have
touched you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what is something you hope to pass down to the underclassmen, you being the senior leader?
um I
You
think
can answer that for both sports too if you want.
okay. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Kind of just to take it more seriously, you know. Like kind of I don't know. And like doing things outside of practice, you know, just not going to practice. Like either it's a dinner, another workout, like I don't know, hanging out, you know. I just like would want them to do that.
Chemistry, improve the chemistry.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And get
Um,
working.
I guess you kind of could use the same answers you used for soccer is what you hope to achieve your final basketball season at Point Borough too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yes. If I'm thinking about, but I feel like with basketball too is our goal is always just get over 500, you know, and especially because we're losing Lila, which is who was our main shooter, you know. I guess the goal would be just all of us to improve in the things we have to do and like know our place and like know what everyone's good at. Like we have Kira for down low, give it to her, you know, look at the extra pass, like all that.
Um, you up for some rapid fire questions, like what your favorites are,
With favorite like what? Like what do you
like
mean?
color and that kind of stupid stuff.
I'll try. I'm gonna like spaz out, but
That's all right. What's your favorite number?
12,
12. What's your favorite color?
purple or pink, or I have like all different colors.
Favorite TV show?
Oh, I have so many. Peaky Blinders, Power,
Oh,
Vampire
Power.
Diaries. Yeah, I love all those. Yeah.
My type of shows. That's good. How about a favorite movie?
Um, I don't. That's a good one. I don't really know. I don't really have a favorite movie.
Do you have like a favorite genre or?
Well, I like drama and well, I could say probably like I love any movie Leonardo DiCaprio's in, like so like Great Gatsby, Wolf of Wall Street, like all those I love. So.
Okay. Favorite school subject?
English.
English. Um, favorite song? If you don't have a song, like group or genre.
Um, well, I kind of like rap as my genre. I don't really have a favorite song.
Last one. What is something you enjoy doing when you're not doing sports in your free time?
Oh, I like drawing.
Okay.
Drawing.
What got you into that?
Well, my mom is a really good artist. So
Okay.
like since I was little, I would be drawing with her. So.
We'll talk about your future real quick before we wrap this up. What are some like things you look at, looking at colleges and stuff, like size, like location, that kind of stuff?
Um, well, I want to go somewhere where it's warm.
Yeah.
Definitely not in New Jersey. Well, if I get like offered a scholarship to New Jersey, obviously I'll take that. But get away from here, you know. But probably a bigger school. I definitely want to go to a bigger school. Um, obviously my goal is Division 1, but
Do you know what you want to study?
well, I want to. I think it would be communications. If well, the major I want to be is like sports broadcasting and all
Mhm.
that, and like get into like something like
So
that.
communications.
Yeah.
Uh, what do you want to do after
Um,
college?
well, my dream job is to be like a sports broadcaster on like NFL, like all that, you know, and maybe be like a trainer for like a big time like team, like either in the NFL or because like you see now there's much more like women like
Oh, yeah.
Tampa Bay who won the Super Bowl. They have like 3 women doing like assistant jobs for strength and conditioning and all that, and that would be a dream job of mine. So.
Yeah, it's definitely something you would be good at too, especially
Yeah,
your
I
strength.
love it too.
Last question. What advice would you give your younger self?
To try all the sports when you're younger and to start sports when you're younger and commit your time to that and get your priorities straight.
Okay. Excellent. Jen, thank you for taking time out today
Of
and
course, of course.
joining me. I look forward to seeing you on the soccer and basketball court,
Yeah.
next year at Point Borough. Um, Oh, I didn't ask this. It's a little out of order, but how has Coach Drew helped you along the way?
Coach is like a father figure to me. Like our whole team, we all love each other, you know, and um, I'm very close with him, and he really has been one of my main supporters. And
Yeah, I love Coach Drew, and got to talk to him a lot when he got that summer league running, which was
oh,
great. That was probably the first sports event that locally.
yeah, I was surprised it even happened. It was
Yeah,
great. It was
I
great.
know he had to do a lot of work to get that going, and
Yeah.
he ran it perfectly, no issues.
And that's the thing about him is he's such a hard worker too. Like he coaches football, he coaches
Yeah,
baseball,
baseball. Yep.
you know, and he teaches. So
Yep.
it's crazy.
So, all right, Jen, I'm gonna let you go. I appreciate you taking time out today,
Of
and
course.
good luck the rest of the AAU season.
Thank you. Thank you. It was nice talking to you.
Nice to hear you. Bye.